What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes.
And tonight we have the results of a story we first brought you on Friday. A 2-week multi-agency operation recovered a record number of children from dangerous situations right here in the Bay Area. 8 on Your Side went undercover with investigators as many of the children were being exploited by human traffickers. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson is in Tampa with more. Jeff.
Good evening, Stacey. 60 children were rescued in this 2-week operation that spanned Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco counties. 60 children taken out of incredibly dangerous situations that some people have called a living nightmare.
Another horrific case of child abuse has emerged out of northern New Mexico. A Las Vegas man is accused of sexually exploiting his daughters for years.
Human trafficking is possibly the most horrific concept within our society. It has blinded gender, age, race, and religion. Understated in its severity, and often an overlooked reality in our world, but the horrors of human trafficking arguably affect our most vulnerable, the children. Beyond sensationalized conspiracy theories lies far darker realities that are plastered on the walls before us but we refuse to see, and they are equally terrifying. But that is where the problem lies. Discerning the truth from fiction and what exactly is real and how bad does it get. The answer shouldn't shock you. The reality is, some of the worst things you could imagine and beyond happen to people all over the world every second of every day. Torture beyond comprehension that shatters the body and mind, all for the pleasure of sadistic monsters. A living hell. In the US, while the number varies, around 500,000 people go missing each year, and in 2024, that number was 533,936, and over 350,000 were children. And while many missing persons cases resolve quickly and without any harm to the missing person, that isn't always the case. And often those cases go very, very cold. Where do these people go? Where do the children go? Conspiracies tell us the government and big companies play a role in these statistics. A few years ago, the furniture company Wayfair fell under fire online for some very suspicious items in their online store. A single throw pillow selling for over $10,000 US, an armoire for even more. Extremely high price tags for very mundane items, right? The most disturbing part was that quite a few of the items' names shared names with missing children. However, the accusation of human trafficking was quickly debunked, right? Right. More recently, the Lithuanian company Vinted fell under a similar shadow. Vinted, however, their postings are far more disturbing given the context of the accusations. Children's toys with staggering prices and tags in which describe the sex and age of presumably a child victim. Some even say things like tight, submissive, and obedient.
Vinted is a popular app with over 120 million registered users where you can buy and sell your second-hand clothes and items. But over the past 2 weeks, screenshots of bizarre listings have gone viral, leaving many people convinced that something far more sinister is happening on the platform. Last week, screenshots of strange Vinted listings began spreading rapidly across social media. The posts showed ordinary-looking toys being sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but it wasn't just the prices that caught people's attention. It was also the descriptions. One listing for a flower plush described its age as 2 to 3 years and tight. Another advertised the toy bunny for €1,000, describing it as 3 years old, female, 91 centimeters, 13 kilograms, tight, with small blonde blue eyes, and even calling it an obedient girl.
And much like Wayfair, the accusations of selling humans via the site were quickly deemed unfounded and absurd, at least by German authorities, whereas France is allegedly still investigating. Lithuania is an interesting country to note if we were to feed this conspiracy. However, it should be stated that we should take this sparingly until more information is released. But in 2008, Lithuania was a source, a transit and destination country for women and children trafficked for the purpose of commercial sexual exploitation. In 2008, it was estimated by the US Department of State that approximately 21% of Lithuanian trafficking victims were underage girls. Lithuanian women were trafficked within the country into the United Kingdom, Germany, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Denmark, Norway, and the Netherlands. Women from Belarus, Russia, and Ukraine were also trafficked through Lithuania for the purpose of sexual exploitation. A central hub for human trafficking. However, this isn't just a third world or European problem. It's worldwide. In the US, just over a week ago, a case in Ohio was being investigated that is harrowing, and while it is not labeled as a trafficking case, it certainly brings out similarities to the conditions in which victims are kept in these scenarios.
The stuff of nightmares allegedly hidden behind the doors of this simple Ohio home.
This is pure evil. What we saw down here today is pure evil.
16 children ranging from 18 months to 18 years old were pulled out of what authorities are calling a house of horrors, conditions inside described as deplorable.
Our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children.
4 adults arrested, now charged.
All of those counts are felonies of the second degree.
73-year-old Gary Siders and his 36-year-old son appeared together on camera for their arraignment today.
We'll be right with you.
Then 67-year-old Christina Siders and 33-year-old Elizabeth Siders appeared by video, sitting side by side.
Grandma, Grandpa, father, and mother at this point. That's what we know.
2 parents and 2 grandparents are facing charges after 16 children were found in horrific conditions in a rural Ohio home. Law enforcement arrested the children's grandpa, grandmother, father, and mother, Gary Siders Jr., Gary Siders Sr., Christina Siders, and Elizabeth Siders. The children ranged from ages 1.5 to 18 years old and included both boys and girls. Several were in serious conditions when found, and 2 had to be flown to level 1 trauma centers because of their injuries. The 16 children appeared to have been kept in a 12 by 12 area for most of the last 4 years. Authorities spoke on the situation and claimed that some of the children were unable to even speak, saying that the 18-year-old child was unable to spell her name as well, saying they were kept like feral caged animals. The family also has ties to multiple counties including Gallia, Pike, and Jackson, as well as to the state of Wisconsin. It appears they've been residing in Vinton County for 4 years. The property they were in was owned by the trust of a deceased woman. The purpose of abusing these children is unclear at this time, but based on what we know, I can tell you I personally have formed my own opinion, and this is happening all over. Under our noses, so to speak. Old urban legends of kidnapped kids within the basements past are a real thing. More often than not, though, children who are trafficked will still attend school and lead surface-level normal lives within abuse. That is the true harsh reality of all of this. The victims have no voices, from fear, neglect, and the neglect of our society and the justice system in which has failed us from the start.